There's a certain sound that just really gets my day going. Yeah, nothing hits quite like that. Zoey 101 was everything to me growing up. In fact, I could probably name what happens in an episode based off just the title alone from memory. Seriously, I think this is overall one of the best shows, if not the best show to ever be made by Nickelodeon. The show is basically like a young teen's first real drama show. While of course it was still a funny show, it focused on more serious moments of teenagers figuring out the world, relationships, and school. This show was a big deal for Nickelodeon. Most every show they've ever done live action has been filmed in front of a live studio audience. Zoey 101, however, was not. It was shot and filmed like a real teen drama, still filled with those Schneider scene transitions. The best transition that Dan Schneider ever made was when Nickelodeon decided to cut ties with him back in 2018. Good riddance. Like I was saying, the show filmed at real-life school Pepperdine University, located in Malibu, California. But none of that matters. This was now PCA. All my homies hate Pepperdine, Pacific Coast Academy for life. The show starts with Zoey getting dropped off with her little brother Dustin by their father at PCA, as this is the first year PCA is no longer a boys-only school and females are now welcome. Dustin had already been going to school there, but to Zoey and, well, every other girl, this was a brand new experience. And right away, we see Chase, a lovable goofball who literally falls for Zoey the second he sees her. No, literally, he falls. Look, there, he's on the ground now. That's unfortunate. From this first interaction, this sets the tone for the relationship between Zoey and Chase for the rest of the show. It's quirky, it's charming, and it's the center background narrative all the way until the end. While the show is generally about Zoey, hence the show's name, we spend a good portion of the time following Chase as the main protagonist, which is a good line to balance. The show would always make sure to show every situation that the girls and guys would get into and how their stories and activities collide within each episode. The first season of the show brought us into this world of a live-in dorm school, which I think most anyone who watched this show wish they could actually have experienced, especially at a cool place like PCA. They had a sushi bar on campus. What more do you need? Education? No. We really got to dive in deep and meet this familiar cast of characters. The kind girl, the one who would probably be a big YouTuber today, the tough one, the geek, the average one, the jock but a little bit too scrawny to be tough, the comedic relief, and the little brother. There are plenty of reasons I could go into to explain why this show for Nick was a game changer and how it shifted the storytelling and dialogue aspects of a teen dramedy to something unlike anything within Nick's current lineup. Let's first break down what I mentioned earlier. This wasn't like Kenan and Kel or Drake and Josh or the shows that came after like iCarly or Victorious. Mainly, there wasn't one of these. Chuma. The laugh track. Whether you love them or hate them, they were and are a staple of many quote-unquote relatable kid, teen, or adult comedies. But because of Nickelodeon's decision to pass on making the over-satirical Moody's Point a full show, rather than a sketch within the Amanda Show, instead opting to dissect the ideals from what Moody's Point was, go back to the writer's room, and emerge with a more focused, more serious, and better written show. I'm kidding. It's Zoey 101. If you want to learn all about Moody's Point and why the Amanda Show was canceled, make sure to check out my last video all about it and click the iCard at the top right corner of the video. But Moody's Point wasn't the only thing that helped push a show like Zoey 101 to be created. It was also the help of Unfabulous, a show that premiered 4 months before Zoey 101 premiered. It was another live action slice of teenage life dramedy that was still riding the fine line of story and substance over gags and jokes. And don't get me wrong, I really like Unfabulous. Growing up, Emma Roberts was one of my first crushes. Well, her and Summer Sanders. I wish she could figure me out. What am I saying? Unfabulous was a unique show that helped Nick push forward with the concept of a non-audience, laugh trackless show. It still fills my brain with nostalgia to this day, and I genuinely did enjoy that show. It maybe just didn't have the same massive gravitational pull that Zoey 101 would. And I think that lies on the writing and the characters of Zoey 101. Zoey 101 became this whole other beast though. The writing was witty, it was natural, and above all else, it was breathable. The characters didn't have to pause between every joke for a crowd to laugh. They let response times be as fast or as floaty as the scenes demanded it to be. This led to us getting what felt like more tighter bonds between everyone and helped solidify that relatability, that familiarity, and that reason why we care about these characters. It put the care in character. That's so stupid. Please, I'm not gonna put that in the video. That is such, why did I write that? Stripping away that aspect, you still need a firm base in which to build these interactions. The way these individual characters were written helped bridge the whole show together. You can have this great dialogue between characters, sure, but without a reason to be invested in them, the conversations end up being meaningless in the long run. When the writing of the people you are watching feel genuinely like everyone has their own place to fit in and grow with the story, it allows for that growth to feel natural and new, as if you're experiencing everything with them rather than after them, like you're more included in on the story yourself. We have characters that build great connections and relationships throughout the show, like for example Logan and Quinn end up doing in the final season, Logan becoming a more kinder and caring better person, and Quinn getting out of her comfort zone. We got to see real developing people grow from how we perceive them from episode 1 all the way to the finale. The show would know when to slow down the comedy for a dramatic effect though, when to take a situation more serious and truly treat it that way. It gave us somber moments that started real conversations. It treated you, the viewer, as someone who could actually be in that same situation. But let's look at the main picture that the show presents us. Zoey and Chase, a will they or won't they of two teenagers growing up and possibly having feelings for one another. We watch as, like I said, the first moment he lays eyes on her, that the spark started. It then builds with each episode showing the friendship of these two blossom. In season 1, Chase cheats on a personality test to exactly match up with Zoey, as to be paired as a date to the upcoming school dance. He later lets that information out and Zoey ends up disappointed at him, resulting in him learning more about boundaries and building a real genuine friendship first and foremost. In season 2, we have the infamous time capsule episode where all the students have to put something in the time capsule that's going to be opened up in 20 years. When Chase learns Zoey is making a video about how she feels about people in her life, he wants to know what she said about him, but she said you'll have to wait until it's dug back up. Chase, in the middle of a rainy night, grabs Michael and goes to dig it back up, and when they successfully do so, he finds himself unable to follow through with listening against her request to what she feels about him on the DVD. He puts it back, and when she teases him about the DVD next, she tells him, "I'll tell you in 10 years instead." And I will circle back to this pivotal moment in the show shortly. Season 3 gave us the most roller coaster of a season yet, with Chase needing to tell Zoey something all day, but never having enough time to talk. Quinn and Lola keep telling her that Chase is going to confess his love to her. She doesn't believe that, but charges to go see Chase to confront him to see what he was really going to say. And bam, Chase is mid-mouth boxing Rebecca, his girlfriend. Because of this, in the following episode, the new relationship is putting a weird hindrance on Zoey and Chase's friendship, with his girlfriend giving him an ultimatum of never speaking to Zoey again or dumping her. He chooses to dump her because, well, 1, that's a toxic relationship, but 2, he cares about his friendship with Zoey more than anything. Season 3 ends with a double-length episode called Goodbye Zoey, in which Zoey gets a choice in moving to London because their father is starting a new branch of his work there. Dustin doesn't want to go, and Zoey is on the fringe about it. While Covington Preparatory School is a prestigious and expensive boarding school, there is nothing quite like the people at PCA. But Chase encourages her to go, with him thinking that this is what she really wants, even though she hasn't decided yet herself, and was really mad that Zoey didn't tell him right away that she was thinking of moving to London. So he becomes very passive aggressive with her, basically telling her to go. But that solidified it. She left for London. After she goes, Chase is told by Michael that if he had told her to stay, she would have stayed. Once in London, Chase and Zoey speak to one another on webcam, in which Chase apologizes and expresses his regret of telling her to go. She accepts the apology, but she can't leave. Then in the final moments of the season finale, Michael accidentally turns Chase's webcam back on, catching the moment where Chase confesses his love for Zoey to Michael and Logan. But Zoey was seeing and hearing this all happen. Now that was all quite a doozy, but in season 4, which is arguably probably the weakest season of them all, things get a little bit interesting. Season 4 starts off with Zoey coming back to PCA to return to everyone and surprise Chase, but Chase isn't there. In a crazy turn of events, Chase switches schools and ends up going to London to be with Zoey, but she's not there. Once Zoey and Chase speak, it's revealed that Chase has to commit to a full semester at Covington until he can think about transferring back. But they try to make this long distance thing work, and finally, The couple you've been waiting to see get together got together, but virtually. Kinda like dating in 2020. After attempts at making the dating work, especially with bad internet, time differences, and so many other real-life distractions for them both, they ultimately decide it won't work until he comes back, and that's where we leave Chase for a while. Like, he legit left the show, but was written off as he's in London now. All this buildup of 3 seasons, a big cliffhanger leading to an unfortunate resolution. This is why season 4 is a bit more tricky to tackle, because sometimes life does not go according to plan. A new kid, James, joins PCA and is the replacement for Chase. He rooms with the guys, he flirts with Zoey, and those two ultimately date. While James wasn't an awful character, his role was basically filling in the shoes of another person in which he couldn't properly. So fast forward to the series finale, Chasing Zoey. The prom is almost here. James and Zoey are still a thing, and he gives her a necklace saying, "I love you." But Zoey feels conflicted and something seems off. James realizes this and confronts her about what's going on, and they end up breaking up. But the whole reason for Zoey feeling this way is still unclear. But now, with no date for the prom, Zoey has nothing to do. She ends up just walking around campus, and then received a phone call from Chase. They begin to catch up and see how things are. Then when she tells Chase that while the prom is tonight, she doesn't have a date, and Chase says this:
"Then turn around."
Zoey looks back to see Chase sitting there, as to shock the whole audience who's watching this right now. The moment that every fan was waiting 4 seasons for. And then in normal Chase fashion, he ruins the moment. But, you know, in a quirky way. And then it happens. The kiss, the buildup of all of these episodes, led to the perfect finish. Chase and Zoey make their relationship official, attend the dance, and everyone lives happily ever after.
I've been in love with Zoey ever since I met her. When she got out of her dad's car, I saw her standing there. I rode my bike into that stupid flagpole. I was in love with Zoey before I hit the ground. I don't think that feeling's ever gonna go away.
Is what I would say if it weren't for what happens next. And similar to high school romances, after the credits rolled, this relationship apparently didn't last. Fast forward to today, where people have been anxiously waiting for an update as to if this Zoey 101 reboot is ever going to be a thing. Because I feel we heard rumors about it year after year, and at some point you just gotta stop believing in them and understand that they're just rumors, right? We were all surprised that back in 2015, a one-shot 5-minute continuation of Zoey 101 hit the internet. It came out on September 18th, 2015. 10 years to the day from the time capsule episode premiering on September 18th, 2005. And remember, Zoey said,
"You're gonna tell me?"
Yep, in 10 years.
And it has been exactly that. So we find Chase about to propose to his then current girlfriend at the time at a diner when Michael comes barging in with the DVD of what Zoey said she feels about Chase on it. Since they couldn't play the DVD, Michael recounts what Zoey said on the actual DVD. And after he's reaffirming his love for Zoey, his current girlfriend says,
"But now you love me."
and to which he responds with, "Nah," and then storms out in search of Zoey after finding out that she had a crush on him from the very start, considering that they might be each other's soulmates. And then it ends with a big old "to be continued" on screen. But after that, it went silent for quite some time. Although there was so much support for this video on YouTube and currently racking in over 16 million views, I'd say yeah, we wanted this continuation. And then in the summer of 2019, the majority of the cast of Zoey 101 all got together for a dinner with Dan, Let Me Play with Feach Snyder, who seemed like he may be trying to get a Zoey 101 reboot officially off the ground. The cast seemed to have a great time, minus Alexa, who played Nicole on the show, who expressed at this time all the torment she endured on the set of Zoey 101 and her falling out with everyone involved. And then everything went silent again. Until summer 2020. A mini Zoey 101 reunion took place on the reboot version of All That, wherein which Jamie Lynn Spears plays an older security guard who messes with the rest of the cast of Zoey 101 and her actual self from getting backstage to see the All That performance. It even included Kristen Herrera, who played Dana Cruz in season 1 of Zoey 101, which was surprising as she had similar issues behind the scenes of the show that resulted in her leaving at the end of the first season. Regardless, it's just good to to see her back involved. I had a crush on Dana growing up too. We are though now missing Victoria Justice, who was at Dan's house the previous year, but not included in this reunion skit. But now recently on October 17th, 2020, Jamie Lynn Spears took to Twitter to announce something was coming, with the tweet, Zoey's voice,
Are you ready?
in reference to the theme song she sang for the original show. 2 days later, on October 19th, Twitter explodes when Jamie announces Sunday, October 25th, 2020, the Sunday after posting this exact video you're watching right now, that a fan event is taking place for Zoey 101. Jamie, Sean, Aaron, Matt, and Chris, plus a whole bunch of new age celebrities like JoJo Siwa and Chantel Jeffries are involved, which, I'm sorry peeps, I'm not here for you, I'm here for the OG cast. But we still don't know what this is. Titled The Legacy Continues, it promotes seeing it first, whatever it is, and I don't know what it is. Is this the show's actual reboot? Is this just the song that Jamie is advertising re-releasing? Oh, well, she just dropped the remake of the song right now as I'm making this video. Neat. So what is this then? Well, going to the website, it seems like I can buy 3 different packages of tickets here, which makes it feel less of an official thing and more of a one-time thing, but then again, I have no idea what's happening. I have some spending options here for the tickets, a $20 standard, a $50 premium, and a $120 ultimate fan package. The $120 option gets me not only access to this event, but the digital song, a PCA hoodie, Zoey 101 t-shirt, autographed CD single from Jamie, and a VIP Zoom call with Jamie herself. Earlier, I mentioned season 4 and it being the less favored season. It faced a lot of issues on and off screen. At this time, Jamie Lynn Spears was pregnant and they had to do their best to hide it on screen. The absence of Chase didn't help either, especially just replacing him, it never felt truly right. But the show as a whole didn't overall suffer from this. The writing of the characters was still consistent, and as the characters grew up and started to become themselves more, the ideas and conflicts of the show had reflected that. The season 3 finale itself ranked more views and better ratings than its competitor at the time, Hannah Montana. Suffice to say that Zoey 101 blew up. It was a phenomenon at the time. Everyone was invested in these characters that we all got to see grow up, figure out who they are, break out of their shell, become better people, and so much more. Season after season, Zoey 101 took us on an unforgettable experience that is hard to duplicate if not done right. The show gave us what felt like real teenagers, all having to figure out their lives at this boarding school, balance education, relationship, and friendships, plus a slew of other things. For me in my life, growing up with it, there was no doubt that there was a major impact it left. Personal stories from my days in high school that I can fondly remember correlating similar themes as to what happened in Zoey 101 tell me it left an impact. These years of our lives are crucial for where we go from there. It's not easy to move forward as we don't know the unknown, but with our ability to look back at our own stories, how we built and structured our lives by, we can still hold these feelings and memories close to us. Sometimes we can never let go. We fantasize about the what ifs and the how comes rather than the what's happening now and the outcomes. But something important to me are my friends, the ones I hold dear, the ones I consider family. And that's what Zoey 101 taught me. My friends became my family. I owe some of them more than money could ever buy. I don't know if Zoey 101 is Nick's best show, but I do know one thing. Thanks to Zoey 101, I'll never take my friends for granted.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Hey, Logan, how you...
Yeah, my friends suck.